morning, everyone. Welcome into our Saturday morning coaches show. I'm Don Julian, and joined by the Lady Cats volleyball coach, Bailey Dorner. And we are glad to talk volleyball today, as volleyball off to a great start in district play and just continuing to play very, very well. And so we'll be talking about the volleyball situation. As usual, we'll try to touch on everything else. We sure hope perhaps that Coach Owens can join us next week as footballs begin practice again on Friday. Players returned and had a chance to practice, supposed to practice again today. And I know they'll probably do that early so that they can get over and try to enjoy the stew that's going on, the stew festival. And so football underway, and they will be starting the new zone play. That'll be this coming Friday at home, playing North Forney, and that'll be at Gerald Prim Stadium. So football with a new zone format where they broke the teams in half in the district, and they'll play each other for 3 weeks and determine seedings 1 through 4, and then one zone will play the other zone. Ones play ones, 2 plays 2, and all that. And the 1s and 2s will make up the playoff teams, and they'll be seeded based on their results on that seeding week, which will take place after the 3 zone games take place. There will be an additional game. I think probably the Thanksgiving holiday will be in there, and then the last game in December. So that's the football story. Lots of exciting things going on for some of our other sports. Wildcat team tennis will be playing White House on Tuesday, weather permitting, and that's a bi-district playoff game. Our Wildcats number 4 seed in our district, and they'll be playing the district champ White House, who was undefeated. They played them once last year over at White House, and early in the season, but it was 14-5. So they're hoping to improve on that and see if they can't figure out a way to get to 10 and win that one. But if they are weathered out, because there's a 60% chance of rain or something like that on Tuesday, it will be at Van, 9 o'clock Tuesday morning. But if that gets rained out, then they will they have a plan B to go to on Wednesday at 9 o'clock the next day, and they will play in the indoor courts at Texas High. They've done that once before during the playoffs when they had a rainy situation. So as really fall arriving in a big way, it's cool today, and it's really supposed to be cold and wet this coming week. Cross country team, same thing. We don't know if the weather's going to intervene, but they are supposed to have the district meet Monday at Mount Pleasant. Top 2 only go to regionals. In the past, it's been top 3, so a little bit of added pressure there to try to get into the top 2 to advance to regional. The middle school district cross-country meet taking place today in Mount Pleasant. Golf teams, and again, we don't know about the weather, but they're supposed to be at Rockwall Golf and Athletic Club on Monday for a tournament. And again, who knows about the weather, but that's the Wildcats and the Lady Cats golf teams will be there if it takes place. Lady Cats basketball actually started practice on Thursday, and Wildcats basketball will start practice beginning of Wednesday of this week. And in case you wonder if Lady Cats basketball is all eager to get those volleyball girls, Coach Brian Jones, their assistant coach, Coach Tisdale, had a child, by the way, and we're very happy for her, and had a little baby girl to go with her young son, and so their family growing over there, and we're happy for Coach Tisdale and hope things go well for her and her family. And but if you think that they're really ready to seize upon Coach Dorner's volleyball team, Coach Jones told me, he told Breasia Ivory, win state in volleyball, then come see us.
There we go.
So they're very, as all our sports are, we know we share a lot of kids, and the sports are very good about waiting their turn. And you know, boys basketball team also used to be so dependent on football, but at the same time, and well, there was one year we did win the state championship, and then we waited on those guys, and they ended up going to the playoffs. So that's kind of the way it works. So we have Coach Dorner, and Coach, great start and a win over at Mount Pleasant on the road. Road's always tough. Tell us about last night's game.
Last night we came off a big win on Tuesday. Very exciting, very emotional ride for everyone. And, I told them just don't go into this game playing relaxed. They have some athletes on the Mount Pleasant team that a lot of times they get to balls they shouldn't really get to, and they can get up and block, and they can get up and hit the ball down on us. So I told them, just play the best you can. We got to control the ball when it's on our side. And we got off to the first set, a great run. Paris Pickett served 10 in a row. And we just kind of took the game from there. Got a little relaxed in the second and the third set, but we did pull it out.
All right, so a good win. One thing I remember about Mount Pleasant, that was the one where we played 2 matches on the same night to make up for, we had lost the Mount Pleasant match earlier because of some COVID virus issues on their team. And one thing I noticed, though, what athletes they have. Mount Pleasant, those girls can jump out of the gym. If they ever figure volleyball out, they're going to be good.
Yes, agreed. I think that's one thing. Our team doesn't have a ton of athletes. We just have skilled players, whereas at Mount Pleasant, it's just athletes, and a lot of times that can trump skills just based on you can get to the ball a lot easier and a lot quicker than anyone else can.
Absolutely. We're trying to stay on schedule today. Doug is itching to go to the stew activities. I think he usually sees the sun go up on this day, and I'm sure he probably did that again. There's something, he's addicted to those campfires, and I bet they feel good this morning. Mm-hmm. Let's take our first break here, and we'll come back with more right after this. And back here on our Saturday morning coaches show, we're talking Lady Cats volleyball with Coach Bailey Dorner, the head coach for the Lady Cats, and in her second season. And we've talked before, but there's nothing like having that first year where you kind of realize. Everything was new the first year. The scheduling, making sure the schedule's put together and getting the girls here and there and all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, the first year it's always a little crazy, and then I thought, okay, second year it's going to be all good, and then COVID hit, and things have just been as crazy this year as they were last year, if not crazier.
Yeah, I don't know any coach that wouldn't agree with that. It's just, there is no norm anymore. You always talk about trying to get back to normal, but everything just, the zone football,
Mm-hmm.
Whoever heard of talking about the importance of that big zone football game? We've talked about district for years, but, you go with it, and that football plan, I was really amazed they put that together. Coach Duke getting some credit for doing that over in Greenville, and that was just really, well, they had to do something. Mm-hmm. Because they had gotten to the point where they couldn't make up what they were losing.
Right.
There was just too much. There were too many teams being affected by the virus. Speaking of which, you've had a couple of your players affected. Now, they did not get the virus, I understand, but they were around somebody that did, and so I guess that's another new word, quarantine. We never have talked about that much in sports, but we sure are this year. So.
Yes, Sadie Washburn and Carolina Hurley both got quarantined Tuesday right before our Longview game. So they missed Tuesday, missed yesterday against Mount Pleasant. They will be back Tuesday when we play Texas High. We've greatly missed them. It's hard when you lose 2 starters hours before the game time, and I'm scrambling just to figure out who I'm going to move up to play in somebody's spot. That's what me and Carrillo and Hammock were all looking at on the way to Longview on Tuesday. Who can we put in this spot that, is not going to hurt us, doesn't have to be a standout athlete, doesn't have to win the game for us or be a superstar, but someone who's just not going to hurt us and can get the job done that we need. And the girls really rose to the occasion this week. They got a little flustered on Tuesday when things were going crazy and we lost 2 girls, but they did a great job. I told them, I said, you don't use this as an excuse for losing a game. We were missing 2 people, that's why we didn't win. I said, nope, you just got to find a way to get it done.
Yeah, I was quite surprised. Longview, you're there, you're playing them, a very, very good team playing on their home court, and to well, you know, I mean, Sadie Washburn, we've talked about how good she is, how maybe the best ever, I think. And, you know, you don't take her out of there lightly. I mean, you can take any team that you see and take their best player away, and it's going to make them a lot of difference. I can't imagine what Hallsville would be like without that setter that's kind of the glue that holds them together.
Right. You know, so yeah, it was a little different, it was just weird, those two not being there. You know, we go over to Longview, who is a very athletic team. That's another team that just has a ton of kids that can get up and play the ball. And, you know, we jumped out there, lost that first set, and I told them in the huddle, I said, hey, this is a new rotation we've never even practiced before. I knew there was going to be some weak spots, but I said, you know what you need to do now? I said, figure it out. We need to win 3 more. And they did.
Who's stepped up? Who is, you know, I would imagine, you know, you've had some leadership on your team. I think of the Peyton Hammocks and Paris Pickett's and some of those that have been on the varsity for a while, and you know, some of those, and then some new ones. Who's really stepped up for you?
You know, I feel like playing well all season long. Like you said, Peyton Hammock's done a great job setting the ball where it needs to be. Brooklyn Burnside has done great. She really stepped up on Tuesday, had 12 blocks, double-digit blocks, which is a very, very rare thing. Paris Pickett's been great on the back row, but I'd say who's really stepped up this week is Nala Lindley and Addison Wall. Those two played outside for me this week. We've kind of been doing a 3-man rotation between those two. You know, who's going to get this set, who's going to get the next set, and both of them really had to step up and play those roles this week, and I think they did a great job.
Well, not only winning, but another silver lining is to, you know, get those kind of players, Nyla and Addison, that might otherwise be spending a lot more time on the bench over there, and they get more time on the court, and they develop more as players that can help you, you know, for the rest of the season.
Agreed. You know, I don't look at my bench and say, oh, I've got a weak spot over there. You know, I always have someone I can rely on now. I always knew I could rely on them, but I know now when the pressure situation's on, both of them can rise to the occasion.
I would imagine Caslin Hurley too. She just has been. I've been amazed when I've seen her play. That, you know, we talked about this I think a couple of weeks ago, where, you know, the stage is not too big for her. She's very comfortable out on the court.
You know, Caslin's a junior, and prior to this, she's always played right side. She just got moved to the middle this year, so she's still learning that position. And she really didn't get moved up to the varsity till a couple weeks ago. And since then, she's really done great. Really stepped into that role, and really, in practice, is just trying to perfect and know what she needs to do. She's done a good job of it.
You talked about Brooklyn Burnside and blocking. That's something that, you know, you can't have fear, I guess is what I'm trying to say, because I would imagine the thought is you're going to get plastered in the face, you know, but I know your hands are up and that kind of stuff, but, you know, that's something you have to learn and just kind of go up there and really challenge that ball, don't you?
Yes, Brooklyn is an extremely hard worker. She works hard at everything she does. She's done a really great job of, she's a good athlete to begin with, but really knowing and perfecting exactly where your hands need to be, where your body needs to be in correlation to the net. She's extremely coachable, and I've definitely seen a jump in her from last year to this year, mainly in her confidence. She has more confidence in herself and her abilities to do what she needs to do.
Well, she's really making a name for herself. I mean, teams now know that center blocker is in there, and she makes tons of blocks.
Yes, she does. She is definitely a threat. She had some huge blocks last night against Mount Pleasant, and I just love her energy. She gets so excited. She just loves the game.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun to watch players like that. Have always been some of my favorite players that respond like that. You know, they just have such a good time on the court. Even sometimes when they mess up, you know, they'll. I had a girl one time ended up playing more volleyball than basketball, but she would play basketball too. And I think one time they got her the ball and she shot and went all the way over the basket. And she ran down to the other end and she was laughing with the other girls about, boy, what a great shot, huh? But so I enjoy that enthusiasm, and I think everybody does. We like to see people and enjoy what they're doing.
It's definitely contagious. When she gets fired up, when they all get fired up, it's a big deal, and it just brings a lot more to the court.
And, you know, a big block, that's a big moment in a volleyball game. It is kind of a momentum changer.
Yes.
And I've seen our girls, when they get their shot blocked, they always act like, you know, because you can't let people know that it bothers you.
Right.
But at the same time, when you block, you know, it's just like igniting something in the team. They just really go crazy over there.
Yes, for sure. It's exciting for us coaches, too, to see it happen.
Absolutely. Take our second internal break. More with Lady Cats volleyball coach Bailey Dorner right after this. And back here on the Saturday morning coaches show, and again talking about Lady Cats volleyball with Coach Bailey Dorner. Lady Cats 6-1 in district play, and 9-6 for the season. Won 6 in a row, and doesn't seem all that many weeks ago that you take your team over to Texas High, and just did not work out very well. The team was 0-1 in district play, I guess, at that time, and what a difference. Something happened, and now 6 straight wins.
Yeah, it was tough to go over there and just not compete. I almost feel like we didn't get off the bus. We just did not play our best whatsoever. When we turned around on Monday, because we had 3 games that week, I told them, I said, you've got a chance to either be 0-4 or 3-1. I said, it's your choice. And since then, they've really stepped up, really realized they can't take other teams for granted. They have to play. It doesn't matter who we're playing with. You've got to bring your A game and play your best. And I feel like they've been doing that.
All right, absolutely. And so Texas High, we kind of good segue in there. We've got them coming in. And if there was a more disappointing game for you last year, I would like to know what it is. Texas High comes in, it's senior night, it's the last home game. You're trying to get the team revved up for the playoffs, and they just kind of laid an egg that night.
Yeah, and after that game, I realized it wasn't the worst decision. That let us go into playoffs in the 4th place spot, which let us kind of face a better road. Even though we lost in the second round to Forney, it was a competitive game, went 5 sets, whereas if we'd have gone in as the 3 seed, we were going to face a much tougher team the second round. So it kind of worked out for us. You still want to win every game that you get to play, but I got to play some seniors last year that didn't really get to play much, and I was okay with that. Give them their chance to shine, and I just hope that this year, when they come here, it's a different story.
Yeah, absolutely. And it seemed like they just had a very, very young team, because they had a super team that had been together in all sports, basketball and volleyball especially, and they had a player, a huge left-handed hitter. It was an outside hitter that went to, I believe, Texas A&M. She may be still playing there. And so they lost a lot, but they just a lot of times just instead of rebuild, they reload.
Yes, that's for sure. It's like they always have kids. They always have tall kids. They always have athletic kids who can jump, who can get up and block and put the ball down. And that's the same story this year, and we just got to be ready for it.
Yeah, they were kind of the same in basketball. They were just trying to establish an identity after losing so many players that we had. When we do broadcasts, they call their name for 3 or 4 years, and all of a sudden it's a new bunch and a new group to learn. So, but still, and Coach Trotter Hardy over there, she's been around for a long time, and she's a competitor.
Mm-hmm. She gets fired up for sure. Yes, sir.
Yes, she does, and I was kind of worrying about dealing with her, because she kind of has an air of, I think she comes into the gym kind of with a kind of a competitive face on. I'd always seen that. So we had always gotten along pretty well, but she was very, very excited, about the prospects of streaming and game going back into Texas High, and then of course it worked out very, very well for them. So that'll be a big match, and then to kind of cap off the week, you'll end up with another very tough road game, and I don't have to remind you what Marshall was like when we played them in our gym.
Yes, that's for sure. We took them 5. Had some people we weren't expecting on their team, just some athletes that we really hadn't seen on film. And it was a tough match for us for sure. So not that I'm worried about going over there, but I know it's not going to be an easy trip.
Yeah, that's always a tough place in basketball and volleyball, to go into that gym. They're very competitive with us, and like any team in the district, they may have forgotten us for a year or two, but then they remember, oh yeah, I remember this team. Don't care much for that blue and gold. So Marshall will, I would say a lot of red, but I don't, with the way attendance is, I'm sure, restricted and everything, I'm not sure you face those gyms full of people like we have in the past. Hallsville always a tough place to go over there with their students and that kind of thing, but it's just, as we've said, a different world. But So that'll be a big, important week this week, Texas High at home and then Marshall on the road. So kind of test us a little bit, but it'll be good to have your girls back.
Yeah, we're looking forward to them coming back. We're excited just to kind of get things back to normal, back to what we're used to.
They had to keep Sadie on a leash, I'm sure, to keep her from sneaking back.
Oh, yes.
I can't imagine keeping her off the court.
Yeah, they sent me a picture. They were watching the game because Longview live streamed it on Tuesday, so they were watching it on their TV, and they were still into it, So we're excited to have them back. We miss them.
Yeah, we'll take her back, right?
Yes.
I think we will. Well, let's take our third internal break, back with some closing comments from Coach Bailey Dorner right after this break. And back here on the Saturday Morning Coaches Show is getting ready to wrap it up here so Doug can find the stew today, and hope everything turns out well over there. Hope the weather holds up. I know the radar early this morning, I didn't see anything on there, but it's chilly and going to be a wet, cold week, looks like, so we'll have to just see how it all shakes out. Talking about Lady Cats volleyball, and again, home match on Tuesday, Texas High coming in, always an exciting match with them, and Coach, I would imagine they are pretty close to the top of the standings?
Yes, we are currently tied with them for first. They lost to Marshall that last game on Tuesday in a 5-setter. So we're tied with them right now. So Tuesday is a huge game for us. If we can win, we'll be up a game on them. And we just need all the people we can to be there to just create a great atmosphere for these kids and just for the game in general.
Yeah, I know you're appreciative of all the ones that can make it, and some you just see them every time, home or road. But so nice to have some other folks out there as they are allowed into these facilities. I'm sure there's restrictions and all that kind of stuff, but it is a kind of a different deal. But that's kind of an interesting with us in Texas High, I guess, at the top, and then. How does it shake out after that? I guess Hallsville's up there somewhere.
Hallsville, I believe, is sitting alone at second right now, and then Longview and Marshall, I think, are tied in that third spot, and then Pine Tree and Mount Pleasant down at the bottom. But yeah, it's kind of everybody's just kind of one game within each other, especially Longview, Hallsville, Marshall. Those three are pretty much right there next to each other.
Yeah, it's interesting. We put that big loss on Hallsville, but before that, their only losses were when they were forced to play their JV team. Was a district rule that came up with trying not to lose so many matches to the virus. Mount Pleasant was one of the first ones that had some issues, and then Hallsville did as well. And those your lost matches can kind of complicate things. And I know a lot of districts just out and out make you forfeit. And I think some of the schools have opted for that rather than to send their JVers out there to. Although I think Hallsville somehow got a match off somebody, their JV did, but did not win. So, but they legitimately took a loss against us.
Yes.
And that made 2 in a row, as we've talked, because you also, with a different team, of course, but you beat them in by-district. We kind of segued in, or led into that a while ago, the way the season ended. But I remember going to that game at Tyler Junior College at by-district, and we're playing Hallsville, and they're district champ. We're in number 4, and the girls were so loose and just having fun, and I thought, do they know what they're getting ready for?
Yeah.
Because, Hallsville, kind of over the years, had kind of developed a reputation in basketball and volleyball where they could really come in and embarrass you, regardless of, how well you tried to play. So.
Yeah, no, last year was just great to see us jump out there against Hallsville 3-0 and really make a statement. I think we won, like 25-6, 25-8, something like that. And so that was great to do last year. It was great to beat them at home 3-0. Just hoping we can go on the road to their place, we can do the same thing.
Has this team surprised you this year, the way they played?
Having a short preseason, and, we struggled there at the beginning a little bit with Sherman, with Frisco, all those teams. They've surprised me recently. They've really stepped up. I've seen some girls mature. A lot of them were newbies to the varsity level and the varsity level of play. And I've seen them just really lock in and focus and practice and really work to get better, and it's definitely shown.
I know we talked a lot about how you really had them playing well at the end of the season after that senior night debacle, but the playoffs, played some of their best volleyball. It's like they've kind of moved the timetable up, and maybe after that Texas High debacle, then, they kind of flipped the switch and kind of started a little bit early to play really, really good volleyball. And, everything, the water tastes better, everything's better when you're winning, and they're just having fun.
Yeah.
And playing well.
Yes, yes, they are.
And very relaxed. They look like a relaxed bunch.
They look like they just enjoy it. I don't think really nerves get to them, or it doesn't seem to get to them, no matter who we're playing, where we're playing, any of that. They're pretty relaxed, pretty chill, which is a good thing. Just sometimes they get too relaxed and give the team a little bit of too much of a lead, but they always get it back together and get it done. So.
All right, a fun group to watch, and results been really good. Again, 6-1 in district play, off to a great start, tied for first place with Texas High. Just to kind of see now who wants it more as you head down the stretch. It won't be easy because you still got, I guess now you've got 2 home matches and 3 on the road,
yes.
So it's not quite as big of a mountain after climbing a short mountain over there in Mount Pleasant. So 9-6 for the season. So Coach, thank you for your time on a Saturday, and certainly appreciate you and the job you're doing.
Thank you.
Best of luck.
Thank you.
That's going to wrap it up for our Saturday morning coaches show. Thank you so much for joining us on this Saturday morning. I'm Don Julian. So long, everybody.